Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing something a little different. We are doing a podcast with my friend Gabe here. We're going to be talking about the new Star Wars Rise of Skywalker and all its gloriousness. So Gabe, say hello, introduce yourself.
Hello. It's Gaben. You know me. Probably.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get right into what was your overall opinion of Rise of Skywalker?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. It was good.
Is it the best Star Wars movie?
No.
What is the best Star Wars movie?
Empire Strikes Back or New Hope.
So what's the difference? Because I know that Rise of Skywalker, the reason why it's such a good movie to me, because I would also rate it probably a 9 or maybe an 8. I don't know. It's definitely in that high up range, because it wrapped up what The Last Jedi did so badly. Because The Last Jedi was just terrible. Mm-hmm. It was just like the worst thing ever. And so the Rise of Skywalker, the first 30 minutes, it just wraps it all up real quick, and then it just jumps into what J.J. Abrams had planned for the whole thing.
So, The Last Jedi, I feel like a lot of stuff happened that didn't need to happen, honestly. Like Holdo, that pink-haired lady, flying through all those ships, that did not need to happen.
And my biggest pet peeve with that part of the movie is that it doesn't make any sense. Because if you look at episode 4, Rogue One maybe? I think maybe Rogue One. They're going into hyperspace, and as they're jumping into hyperspace, a bigger ship comes in, and the ships that hit the smaller ships end up getting destroyed. Mm-hmm. And so they explain that something's broken so it'll work, but it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't work.
Yeah. Or there was an episode of Star Wars Rebels that the Empire built a ship that could pull other ships out of hyperspace using a gravity well, and a ship the size of the one she rammed into would have had enough space to have its own gravity, which ships aren't allowed to jump into hyperspace through. Mm-hmm. Deep Star Wars lore, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's it.
And, my biggest pet peeve with The Last Jedi is, if I can find pictures of it, I will. Rey starts off the movie just like she did in The Force Awakens. So however much she weighed in that one was the same amount that she weighed in the beginning. Yeah. But by the middle end of it, she had put on some type of weight.
It was weird.
And it may have been muscle. I don't know if it was fat. I don't know how the weight was gained, but there was a very specific difference between the beginning and the middle part of it. And the reason why that's so off-putting is because they showed a picture of Rey, and then I could easily tell it was from The Last Jedi because of how her face looked. Mm-hmm. But if you show me pictures from Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker, she looks nearly identical. Mm-hmm. And it threw me off, and it was something that I noticed right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because if she had gained or lost, I don't know what happened, but if whatever had happened at the beginning and stayed the same, but it didn't, it progressively got bigger, and then in the last scene, it was all gone.
Yeah, it was very jarring. It was very odd.
I feel like that should have been taken into account for.
And then another thing about that movie, did you ever look at the choreography they did for the throne room fight scene?
No, but I know it was bad.
Yeah, so people they're fighting the Praetorian guards or whatever, and they'll just be swinging their weapons at each other, and the Praetorian guard will just back off and then run off of the screen. He'll just disappear. He'll be swinging his weapon at nothing and just vanish. It's so bad.
See, now I just recently read an article where J.J. Abrams talked about his successes and failures with The Rise of Skywalker, because he actually had even less freedom in Rise of Skywalker than he did in Force Awakens. Because in one of the final scenes when Kylo is fighting the Knights of Ren, it plays the his anthem, whatever it's called, that always plays. And J.J. Abrams made the point that that's not the right music because he's turning to the good side.
Yeah.
So why would you play his Kylo Ren music in a scene where he's fighting the Knights of Ren? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then he said that he was completely against Rilo.
Yeah.
Rey and Kylo kissing
Yeah.
from the beginning, but Disney thought it was the best way to please both sides, and I just thought that was stupid.
I was fine with them kissing. I thought it was fine, honestly. I was okay with it. But I don't know, it felt a little forced in some ways. But I don't know why they had to kill him. I really wish he didn't die.
That's my exact same point, because first of all, it doesn't make any sense, because she was like, if the Force healing has no, like, it's not like a one-time deal. When he brought her back, couldn't she have just brought him back too?
Yeah. I think it was because I think Emperor Palpatine explained it as, like, they're taking some of the Force energy out of their life, and it's, like, not necessarily shortening their life, but making them weaker for the time. And I think that's why Kylo Ren died. But, like, people talking about the Force healing, people are like, oh, they're just making this stuff up to make Kylo Ren and Rey more powerful. But, Mandalorian,
exactly,
episode 2 and 7, which came out 2 months ago, and then a few weeks ago, Baby Yoda healed people. So I don't know who's complaining, but they didn't watch The Mandalorian, apparently.
Yeah, it's the Force healing is something that I feel like should have been revealed sooner, and it's an interesting thing because Anakin or Darth Vader, however you want to look at it, he should have technically been the strongest Jedi ever, because his midichlorian count was so high. And I have actually another interesting fact about him, but his midichlorian count was so high. So who taught her that? Was it something that she just learned? And even if so, how is her Force ability so much stronger that she could just decide to do it without any real, like, mastery rank training?
I feel like one way you can think about it is, like, Anakin was more fueled by rage most of the time about people dying in his life and trying to protect them, but he always failed in doing so. But Rey is more of a pure person and was driven to help people, and I feel like that's why she could heal people and Anakin couldn't, because he was always fueled by the anger. And I think that's why you could probably explain why Anakin couldn't use it, because I started to think about this afterwards, because I thought about that too, and I was thinking that, and then I think Luke might have a higher midichlorian count, because I started looking at that too, and I don't know though, but I think Luke might have had the same problem Anakin did.
Like, do you need water?
Yes.
And another interesting point is that... No, what are you doing? You just drink it like this.
It doesn't matter.
An interesting point. So they say that Kylo and Rey are a deity. Is that what they call it?
A dyad.
A dyad. And the definition of a dyad is like 2 parts to 1 whole, essentially. So that means that Rey and Kylo have essentially the same Force bodies, just in different people. And that's why it only happens every, like, once 4,000 years or something like that. So then why is, throughout the whole entire trilogy, Kylo is weaker and Rey is so much stronger? I mean, I have nothing against that. It's just, if they're the same person, then when they were trying to bring the ship together, why did Rey deploy the lightning and then Kylo was like, oh, I wish I could do that? And then why does it seem like Rey is always able to better him when he's had more training, and they should technically be on the same level of, like, Force capabilities?
Okay, so what was really weird, so The Force Awakens, it made it seem like Rey was more powerful. She beat Kylo Ren because he obviously had more training. She had just gotten her lightsaber. Why did she win? But then, the second movie, The Last Jedi, they were pretty equal. Then The Rise of Skywalker, you could kind of tell some of the times that Kylo Ren was more powerful than her. Why did they do that? It was so inconsistent. Because, like, whenever they're pulling on the shuttle back and forth, it felt like Kylo Ren was just kind of messing with her. Like, he was like, oh, I know I can easily pull this away from her, but I'm just going to make her mad. And then she got mad and shot the thing. And then she was getting really tired whenever they were having their lightsaber fight. And, like, dude, Kylo Ren was going to win. But then he sensed Leia dying, and then that's why he gave up. He would have won. But I don't know why they had to make Rey strong, and then equal, and then Kylo Ren strong, when Kylo Ren should have just been strong from the beginning, and then Rey growing, and then beating him.
Exactly, because in the Force Awakens, Kylo should have just straight obliterated Rey. Like he should have just like straight demolished her.
And then whenever the planet came apart, that's when she should have been saved because
So-
the planet fell apart.
So then, and then that lightsaber battle, Rey came out so strong, and then I was like, oh, she's gonna kick his butt. Meanwhile, Finn's just vibing in the background, mind you. But it's like Kylo should have been able to easily take her on in the first one, and then the second one, I agree with you that they were about even.
Yeah, they were
in
pretty
the Last
even.
Jedi.
You didn't see a lot of what they could do in those.
Yeah, but you didn't see a lot of anything. The Last Jedi, if you haven't seen it, which I mean it's been out for like 3 years, but it's essentially just a bunch of them running away.
Yeah, it's a bunch of ships flying around. That's all it is.
And
which is normally fine if it's in the right context, but it's just ships flying away from other ships.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And so I didn't understand the whole point of having the whole entire thing take in space, which, other Star Wars have done that. It's just, there wasn't a battle. It was the army moving slightly faster than the bigger army trying to get to the planet, which didn't make any sense because even if they got to the planet, the army's still there.
Yeah.
So it's not going to solve anything.
I like how they built up, like, the Battle of Crate, the final planet they were on in The Last Jedi. They, like, built it up. And you're like, final battle time. And then nothing happened. Luke showed up by himself and fought the whole army by himself.
And another interesting point is, like, why did Luke have to be a Force thing? And why did Luke have to be there? If Luke was going to die anyways, his presence really had no difference in anything. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was my favorite scene of the movie.
Oh yeah, that is very cool
if that
scene.
scene wasn't in the movie, I would probably have won my money back. But it's just an interesting idea. They had to bring him in just to kill him anyways.
Yeah.
Now I wanna loop back to the Darth Vader talk.
All right.
Recently, a Darth Vader comic book came out, and it said that Palpatine actually created Anakin because Palpatine had mastered the ability to create life, so that's why he was able to reanimate his Force body.
Yeah.
So he was attempting to create his own Padawan.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he made Anakin's mom pregnant.
So that was canon for a really long time, I think. But I think Disney, a week ago said that's not canon anymore.
Why?
I don't know. Literally found that.
Okay.
So who's Anakin's dad?
I know. I know why. Because if Palpatine, that would make Palpatine Anakin's dad, which would mean Kylo and Rey would be like cousins.
Oh, that would be
and then they kissed.
Yeah.
So,
got a point
because that would make Palpatine Anakin's dad, which would make him Rey's uncle, right?
Sure, yeah.
No, it would make...
Yes, it would. Yes,
and
it would.
so that would then make Luke, and then... So that would be his grandson.
They'd be cousins in a sense, yes.
Yeah, so they'd be like cousins first removed or something, which would make the kiss a lot more Alabama style.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. So to wrap up, I just want you to give me again your rating for Rise of Skywalker and just 30 seconds of where you would put it on your 9 ranked movie, 10 because of Rogue One, out 11 because Solo as well.
9 out of 10 again. Definitely go see it. First 30 minutes might be a little jarring, but after that, it's pretty good. And then I'd put it probably third place for the best Star Wars movie.
Top 2.
Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, probably.
A New Hope.
A New Hope.
I would give it because I would give it a 9 purely when Palpatine launches the lightning in the sky. That bass boost just woo. So and then I would have to put Rise of Skywalker number 2.
Yeah.
Or number
It changes all the time. Honestly.
I'm gonna say number 2 purely because I love Phantom Menace. I don't care what you think. Phantom Menace is my favorite Star Wars movie.
It's not that bad. People crap on them now. It goes back and forth. People love the prequels and they hate the prequels, and then they love the prequels. I don't get it. It had bad writing. I'll give them that, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you want me to do more podcasts with friends and sexy people? Let me know in those comments below. And as always, go over to the Instagram Badger_Juice for a chance to win a free sweatshirt. See him out, Gabe.
I love you all.